iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. To show the love.
So I sent emails out to folks. They were asking me who you talking to. And I told them who I'm talking to, including Matty Rich. And they were like, what is he doing? everybody who I said, who I told I was talking to Matty Rich, they all went, what is he doing?
Is that right?
People
Really?
like, I haven't heard his name. What is he doing? I'm like, well, I said, that's what we gonna talk about. What you been doing?
Living, brother, living, boy. How do I even start that statement? Because I've been living in Europe. I've been producing and directing video games for a number of years. A lot of people don't know that after the Inkwell that came out, now Inkwell is what you call a classic, right? You know,
classic black cult film. That's what I call it.
Yes. But when it came out, Roland, just real talk.
Well, I remember.
I got a lot of flack for making that movie, which is now, you know, thought as one of the, you know, great African-American movie. But the time that it came out in '94, we were still doing, when I say we, Hollywood, was still doing hood movies. Right. Still doing urban movies. And I made the choice after Straight Outta Brooklyn and the big success after that I didn't want to do that. Like, I didn't want to do another hood movie. And I got offered a lot of movies. Right. And I sat down with my team at the time and I said, I want to do this movie about African Americans on Martha's Vineyard, African Americans with money. I didn't grow up with money, but I just love that perspective as an artist. And then African Americans who are Republican and a Democrat, and they come together on the summer.
But also African Americans who were Black nationalists and Africanists compared to African Americans who were not. So you had basically what you actually had was all of Black America coming to fusing together in this movie.
Yes, and so that is what, as a young filmmaker, what excited me about that movie. And when I made that decision, some people thought, oh man.
You got ripped.
Let me tell you, bro, when I made that movie, I remember a pre-screening. And Jeffrey Katzenberg was a great man. He was the head of a studio at Disney at the time. And he said, I was backstage at this event, and he says, Matty, this is gonna be the little movie that could. They don't understand it in 1994. He says, don't worry, this is gonna do well for you. But this is a different time, right? And so I didn't understand that when he said that to me. Because when you have a success like Straight Outta Brooklyn, where you just, like, you know, as a young kid, myself, break through the structure of Hollywood, and you do something on a magnitude with that kind of response, there's some pressure that comes with that, right? And there's some pressure of that second movie, your sophomore movie. In Hollywood, there used to be something called the sophomore jinx, right? So your sophomore movie, you better come out really swinging hard, right? Or your jinx. And what I was told after the Inkwell, we had such a great time making the movie with the cast and everyone, that when it came out in the top 5 movies of the week, right? So that was good, right? It did well.
Opening weekend.
Opening weekend, it was number 4, the opening weekend, 3 or 4, but in the 5, right? It wasn't 5 though. And I remember, like, okay, great. But then the critics that loved the young Matty Rich, who came from Red Hook housing projects and do drama and urban story, gritty. I do that in my sleep, right? But that's not me as a filmmaker. It's how I grew up. I can tell those urban gritty stories, but I wanted to do something more unique.
They wanted to box you in.
Absolutely, absolutely. So after that, after the inkwell, I was told, you know what, Matty, you are in director's jail. That's what they told me.
After 2 movies?
After 2 movies. After 2 movies, they told me you are in director's jail. I never knew. I know jail, right? I know prison,
right?
But I never heard the Hollywood term director's jail. So my agents at the time told me, Roland, and they explained what director's jail is. That means that the way that you get out of this rut,
right,
is to write your way out. That means write an original script, write somebody else's script, and we'll attach you as a director. That is your way out, right? Because Hollywood is not calling. They're not calling after the inkwell. They weren't calling, right? And it didn't help with a little beef I had with Spike Lee back in the day. That didn't help anything, right?
Right. Yeah,
Silly beef.
Yeah.
That didn't help.
And that was all about him learning the craft, everything, and you were like, man, I ain't gotta do all that.
Right. And look, I was 19 years old, right? And when
feeling your oats.
When you're 19,
you're like, man, who the hell you? Like, I blew up, I killed it.
Right.
Man, I ain't gotta learn this stuff.
Right. But I'll say this: now that I'm a teacher, an instructor,
Spike was right.
Well, I think that there's some parts of what Spike said was true, but then I also think as an independent filmmaker doing a movie just on guts,
right?
Doing a movie guerrilla style, right? Not having formal training. There's something really unique about that as a filmmaker. Yeah, right?
I mean, but Melvin Van Peebles was in terms of what he did as well, right. And a lot of people. I mean, it is the. Look, I love golf, and there are some guys. The swings are self-taught. They've never had a golf instructor,
right?
And they found success because how they played the game is how they learned it. It wasn't through the country club. Right. It wasn't through the golf instructor and you watching the video. No, it was all they worked it out in the dirt.
Right. Yes, and so, but there's 2 sides to that. I see both sides, right? As an older statesman filmmaker, right? Now that I teach at the American Film Institute and I teach in the master's program, writing and directing and overseeing thesis films, I teach the young filmmakers structure, right? I teach them writing structure. I teach them directing structure, right? And no one taught me that. I learned this by just on-the-job training.
Right.
In the years of being in the business, in this writing projects, writing the Tupac Shakur project for HBO that I was set to direct, and writing a project for Whitney Houston, the great late Whitney Houston, called Subway Scholar. I wrote that for her for Showtime. Just writing a lot of work that people don't know that I've been writing a long time.
Right.
I've been selling, I've been writing, but when you're a filmmaker and you're not like making an actual motion picture, people are like, what happened? What? I'm still.
Well, it's like I was talking to somebody and I was talking about Bill Duke. And they were like, huh, Bill Duke? They're like, Bill Duke. And Bill has done films, but his start really came in television.
Right.
And so there are people, and so again, it's sort of like, it used to be, if we didn't know you from the big screen, they didn't care about the small screen. Yep. If you were on the small screen, oh my God. Richard Lawson, I talked about it, he was like, I'm not doing a soap opera. I'm not doing that, but that's still television, and that's still a check, and it's hugely popular. It's sort of the same thing. So people ask you, Matty Rich, like, what happened to Matty Rich? Because you're not seeing you directing. They're not seeing you doing the interviews and the junkets or whatever.
Right.
But you've been working.
I've been working. I've been in the field working. Been laying a lot of pavement on the writing side, and as I mentioned earlier, on the video game side. I caught the curve in the video game world,
which folks don't realize.
Yeah.
Cats making a hell of a lot more money with video games than they are making Hollywood movies.
Let me tell you, to be frankly honest, gaming makes more money with film and TV combined. Film and TV combined.
Boom.
A lot of money.
And those games require directing.
They require writing and directing, and that's what I've been doing. I know. And I had an opportunity to meet the owner of Ubisoft, a video game company based in Paris, France. And the owner asked me if I would help out on a street racing game that they were having issues. I said, hey, you paying? He said, yeah, I'm paying. I want you to come to Paris and we're gonna put you up. It was supposed to be for 2 weeks enrolling. When I walked in to this game development studio, I've never seen a game development studio. And I saw 200 artists on one floor. Everyone was behind computers and each artist had a team leader. There's a engineering designer, character designer, all team leaders. And the head guy introduced me to all the team leaders and he said, this is your crew. Write the story, fix this game, and see if we can make this work. I was supposed to be there only for a couple of weeks just to lay out the structure. I wind up staying there almost 2 years.
Dang!
Yeah. Je parle un peu français, I speak a little French. And I ran the entire game development team in Paris, France. Took over all the artists, brought on Lorenz Tate to do voiceover talent, rappers, singers, all that sort of stuff. And I retitled the game 187 Ride or Die, and it was released on all platforms. And I also ran a team in Hong Kong. I also ran a team in Seoul, Korea. I've been working, brother, on the gaming side. And then I wanted to, God talked to me, and I got the word, like, you have to share your gift with people. Like you can't just hold this in.
Right.
And so I started teaching young adults with autism how to make video games, and then also how to do animation short films. And then, as I mentioned, on writing and directing courses for Sundance and the American Film Institute and the Woodstock Film Festival. I just started pouring into other artists to make sure that, yeah, I've done 2 movies thus far, there's more to do. But I wanted to pour into people and give them what God gave me of not just being a film writer or director, but on the gaming side. Because I always tell young people, when they see someone who looks like me in the gaming world, they don't know somebody who makes games, right? They play Madden, they play Call of Duty, and I know all the people behind these brands because I speak at conferences, and sometimes I'm the only brother at the conference. So I always tell young kids, and adults too, if they're into the gaming world, making a video game is very similar, and writing a video game is very similar to writing a film. It's the same structure.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years.
We got iPhone 13s too. Switched 2 minutes ago, literally right before this.
iPhone 13 on us on any unlimited plan for every customer, with plans starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
Love our new Alexa.
It's a Buick.
Yeah, Alexa.
Buick.
Alexa.
It's a Buick.
It's an Alexa. It's a Buick. It's an Alexa. Coach, that's a Buick. That's an Alexa.
The Buick Enclave with available Alexa built-in.
Pull up a chair, take your seat. The Black Tape with me, Dr. Greg Carr, here on the Black Star Network. Every week, we'll take a deeper dive into the world we're living in. Join the conversation only on the Black Star Network.
I went to a communications high school, Jack Yates High School in Houston, Magnet School of Communications. Mary Waits was our television instructor. And when we would watch movies, she would force us to watch the movie to the end. Not the end of the movie, the very end. The end where they tell you the camera that was
Panavision,
used.
yeah.
Panavision, all that. Minutes watch credits. Because she said that's how the movie was made.
That's
she
right.
said there is no movie. So she says you have to have an appreciation of that.
Yes.
And the average person doesn't understand this system that's behind this. The jobs that are behind it. Not just who the director is or who the actor is, but that cinematographer and that grip. And
That's right.
I mean, all of those jobs and the stuntmen and the coordinators and all those different things. And now when you talk about when you go outside, when you say, sure, here's Hollywood, big movies, but then television, now streaming services, and now you're talking about videos, commercials. This is the business of the business.
That's right.
And I think that's something that people get. Look, I get it. Folks like, oh man, but we see MSNBC, and I'm like, that's great. I said, but I own this, I control this.
That's right.
I'm creating, I'm building libraries. I said, no. That's what I'm doing, because all they see is, yeah, but that's the big networks and that's the big piece. I'm like, yeah, but that's still operating in somebody else's system.
There you go.
And I don't have the flexibility, the freedom to do what I want.
And also, what you're doing is you're leaving a legacy behind, Roland. And you've done that already with, I've watched your career, for a long time, and we've chatted here and there. But you've left a legacy, but you're building upon that legacy. And people, just like how they look at me and they study, how did this kid do this movie? Raised in one of the toughest housing projects in Brooklyn. How do you do not a 16 millimeter movie, not a video camera movie? This is a 35 millimeter motion picture, just like Warner Brothers and they all do. How do you do that without backing from some big organization or big VC? It's what you're doing with the community. It's going directly to the community and say, believe in my vision, believe in this, because this is not just for me, it is for us.
Yep.
So that's what you're doing. You're paving a long path where people, mark my words, just like Jeffrey Katzenberg told me about the Inkwell, that this will be a movie that will do very well. It wasn't well received in '94, but when people know that I made that movie now, they're like, oh, and I'm like saying to myself, wow, the wisdom of just paving a path, and it will catch up. It was Robert Townsend with 5 Heartbeats. Yes.
And he thought that was going to be his opus, and it was in how they marketed it. It was awful, which also, again, business of the business.
Yes, sir.
And people have to learn. You can make an unbelievable, fantastic film, but they can screw up the marketing and no one sees it. Gina Prince Bythewood had me in Beyond the Lights.
Yeah.
And as someone, and not just because I was in it, I really believe that they screwed that up by trying to market like The Notebook as opposed to what it was. That movie should have been that should have been as big as Against All Odds.
Yeah, it's beautiful movie.
It was an amazingly shot soundtrack, unbelievable acting, but how they tried to market it caused folks to say,
yes.
And then when it came out on DVD, and then when it came out on cable, people were like, oh my God, this is an amazing film because how it was marketed.
And that's the thing that now I think the Hollywood system they do that better now.
Well, because social media is forced.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, the previous system, and that was a piece. You said 94.
Right.
They controlled everything. So you didn't have social media.
No.
You couldn't go direct.
Right.
You couldn't, okay, you know what, y'all screwing this up, I'm gonna do this here. So you couldn't do that. And so they controlled all of it. And so that whole point where you said, this sophomore jinx is they control the narrative.
Yes. Where I couldn't directly talk to the community, talk to people and say my point of view and my side of the story because there was no social, right? So it was like, okay, well, you didn't earn what we expected you to earn in our eyes.
Precisely.
In our eyes.
Right.
But my thing is, if you look at the numbers, it's pretty good.
Right, I'm sorry. It's top 5. How in the hell?
It's pretty good numbers.
I'm trying to understand.
Exactly.
Well, that's the same thing happened with Just Right.
Oh.
I love Just Right.
Yep.
But what happened was they said, we felt this was supposed to make this, and it didn't. And that actually shut down. There was a whole pipeline of black romantic comedies that were in the pipeline.
Yep.
Completely shut them down because they said, "Oh, well, the artist just, doesn't want just right." And that's, but again, no, that's why I try to tell people is you can have great ideas, you can have your creativity, you can say I'm a wonderful content person, but if you do not understand the business of your business, you are going to be in for a rude awakening.
That's right. In understanding business is important even for a filmmaker. For whatever you want to do, you should understand whatever you want to do to learn about that occupation. Learn about not just how to write or direct, but learn about the economics of it. Like if somebody gives you $1, or if they're an investor, they want a return on that money.
Right.
And at a certain point, you have to return that money. You should want to return that money. You have to work towards that. And when you actually make a movie, there's such a thing as, how are you going to actually sell this movie?
Right.
You can finish the movie, but are you going the film festival route? Is that
look? When we published, I published 5 books.
Yeah.
And my wife had a book called "Fulfill the Art and Enjoy Balanced Living." So I edited the book, published it, we printed it. About 3 months later, I said, "Come with me." So we go into my office. I said, "What's that?" She's like, "What do you mean?" "Those are my books." I said, No. "What's sitting in the corner?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's $30,000 sitting in the corner."
Yes, sir. Yes.
I said, "You published a book. Great. They're sitting in boxes."
That's right.
I said, "They're not meant to sit in cases."
Nope.
"What are you doing to sell those books?" "Oh, I called this pastor, that pastor, they didn't hit me back." "Call them back."
That's right. That's right.
I was like, yo, and I said, that is the easiest thing to actually do in this process. I said, writing a book, editing a book, and printing a book is the easiest things.
Selling it.
The hard part is selling it.
Yes, sir. Man, that is, in that, you just said it, is making something, creating something. Yes, you have to put that together. But then once you have a finished product, what are you going to do? And then, if this is a film, you're going to enter a film festival, right? Maybe. Or maybe you get some sort of representation, a sales agent. Or maybe you want to do foreign sales if you have stars attached and start, selling off rights to different territories internationally and things of that sort. But you have to understand the business. You have to understand and I've learned in working in the video game world of how big video game companies work. And this is, I'm gonna tell everybody, the structure of a video game company is they want to create a big IP, a big property, a gaming property, that they continue to make games every year or every 2 years, big games. But the key, though, is to take those games and do ancillary opportunities for them, is to make films, make TV shows, make comic books, make
360 degrees.
360.
That's why if people who are watching, when you hear the term a 360-degree deal, that's the whole piece.
Yes.
What are all the spin-offs out of this one project?
Yes, sir.
In the cable, it's called tentpole. It's called tentpole. That is, cable channels don't do like broadcasts. They might launch 15 new shows. No, they launch 3 or 4 or 5. But they got a tentpole. So you take the, like, I hate reality shows, but take the Real Housewives, okay? It's about 10 or 12 of them. That's the tentpole. That thing has created a whole, okay, you know what? We finished that one, that one's gone away. No, we got this one in this city, in this city, in this city, added this city. It's a tentpole.
Yes.
And people, and so, right, you just can't come with an idea. They're sitting there going, where's the merchandise? Well, where's the toys? Where's this? And you're like, no, but it's just it. No.
But then a lot of filmmakers, you're absolutely right, Roland, and a lot of filmmakers, they don't understand this. They'll make a film, and the first thing is, I just wanted to be on a streaming site, just sell it. No, don't sell it. Don't just sell it. You can sell it for a period of time.
Right. licensing.
Yes. You know.
Licensing and selling are two different things.
I own Straight Outta Brooklyn. That's my property, 100% of that, right? And so, yeah, when I sold it in the beginning or licensed it, it's for a period of time.
Right.
But then it has to come back to me unless you pay me a lot of money to get rid of it, right? And so this is another thing for filmmakers to understand the business side of it. Yeah, you may not see me, but I'm okay.
Right.
I'm okay.
Love our new Alexa.
It's a Buick.
Yeah, Alexa.
Buick.
Alexa.
It's a Buick.
It's an Alexa. It's a Buick. It's an Alexa. Coach, that's a Buick. That's an Alexa.
The Buick Enclave with available Alexa built-in.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years.
I thought new phones were for new customers.
We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal.
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. On any unlimited plan, starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
Don't you think it's time to get wealthy? I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and my new show on the Black Star Network focuses on the things your financial advisor or bank isn't telling you. So watch Get Wealthy on the Black Star Network.
How about sushi?
I just had sushi for lunch yesterday.
How about tacos?
Automatic emergency braking, one of 6 advanced safety features standard on every 2022 Chevy Equinox. Find new technology. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
I can't tell you how many people have talked to friends of mine, and they've told me, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. No, CNN ended, I was there 6 years, it ended in 2013. Mm-hmm. Cat's like, yeah, but I don't see him on, I was on ABC this week, but the last one was on was 20 months earlier.
Wow.
MSNBC every now and then. Fox News, they scared to call.
I wonder why.
They scared to call. They're like,
and they should be.
No, they don't. They're like, no. They're like, him different.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, him different. But all these people like, I'll bump into them in the airport. Man, what you doing? I was like, what are you talking about? I said, I've been my digital show for the last 3 years.
That's right.
Oh, I don't see it. I'm going, I've been there 5 days a week for the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. And we launched the OTT network, Black Star Network. Mm-hmm. I said, and we're doing this, and we're shooting these things, we're shooting interviews, and we're doing this. And they're sitting here going, like, are you serious? I'm going, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, bruh's been working.
Yes, yeah.
But they only see the big things and not realizing I'm making more now.
In your
than
own,
I did then.
That's right. And the thing is about content ownership, content creation, right? Content ownership, content creation. And I always tell filmmakers that, yeah, you could make a movie. Right now, you can make a movie on an iPhone.
Yeah.
You can make a movie on a red
Steven Soderbergh has made 5, I think, on iPhones.
You can make a movie. You can have some notable names, actors, actresses in your project. Yeah, you can do that. If that's your goal, is just to make a film, you can do that. The technology exists for you to do that. But do you own it? But do you want to own it? Do you want to create an entity, like a foundation? And before you think about giving it to a streamer or a studio, why don't you carve a little piece of that out and sell a piece of that ancillary? Maybe sell a piece of that to a graphic novel or comic book or a video game before you give it to the studio, because you know what the studio's gonna do?
Oh, they gonna pimp the hell out.
They want it all.
They gonna pimp the hell out. And trust me, you think it's just movie, they sitting here going, we can sit here, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. It's interesting, I was in Beyond the Lights, I did The Quad, I did Downsizing, and So I get residuals. And it's and again, understanding the business. So when these residual checks come in, I'm looking at all the places
where it's playing.
They've sold it.
Yeah.
And it's true. It comes in. I'm like, that's interesting. And it's like, it's not just, it was that TV show. No, it's. I mean, every time I purposely, I just don't look at. It's a small check, but I'm looking at. I'm like, that's interesting. It sold it here.
Yeah.
And it aired here.
Yeah.
Oh, and here. It's crazy.
Roland, let me tell you, when I see Straight Outta Brooklyn this year, Russia, China, parts of Africa, the U.S., it plays all over the world. You know, Straight Outta Brooklyn does really well in all places that you would never think of, but in like Latin America does extremely well in Latin America. You know, places where people are dealing with struggle and they want like hope from their struggle. And so it plays on television all over. So.
And the reason
I see it.
It comes to your mailbox.
I see it. Yeah.
And you're not getting letters saying, "Hey, we're showing it." No. There are there's a decimal point in between.
Sir. Every year you get a residual statement from MGM. MGM is my partner on that project. Residual statement. I look at the residual statement, and anything I want to ask about, hey, what about that territory or that license? It's because it's mine.
Right.
I'm letting you do this. I'm glad that you're doing it.
Right.
But it's my property.
Right. You are my partner.
Yes, we're partners.
And that's the thing. I've said for a long time that we need a massive reprogramming of Black America.
Wow.
In that we have been so conditioned to believe that what is ours is second class. That if it's Black, it's not good enough. I tell people, so we're sitting here, and if they're looking at the interview, and they're looking at the quality, and I'm sitting there saying, our quality is no different than you see on ABC, NBC, CBS. The light panels we use.
Cameras,
same thing.
You got a nice setup.
C300s, sliders, and all. I'm like, y'all, it's okay. Lights on the back, candles sitting here, how we dressed everything up, same thing. But the difference is, we can do the exact same thing. But it's getting people to understand what ownership means, what control means, and now what you're able to do with the proceeds of owning and how you're able to do things in the community. And then it's continuous. And then none of us wants to think about this when we become from where we are to ancestors, then our estate.
There you go.
And that's the thing, man. I tell folks, you can't just dismiss and go, yeah, but that's just so small. I'm like, trust me. Just because it's big over there. When Prince did Emancipation, did an interview, and he said, he told the reporters, I made more off of Emancipation than I made off Purple Rain.
Wow.
And they went, what? And he's like, yeah, because I understood the business behind it.
Yes, sir. And you're right about having those classes of the business structure, especially as an artist, understanding that you are the business.
Oh, yes.
You are the business.
Or you are the mark.
Oh, that part too.
See?
Yes. And
they love the cats.
Let me tell you.
Who, I don't want nothing about that. I just want to act. I just want to sing.
I just want to chat.
They love you.
Yeah.
They sitting here saying, oh, I'm about to get paid.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'm going to milk that, and then I'm going to send him on his way.
And then I'm going to send my kids to college on his ass.
There you go.
I'm going to pay for the down payment on my son's house off his ass.
That's real talk.
And cats are not understanding that. They're not sitting here going, and that person, not acting, not directing, not singing, doing nothing. They sitting in the office and they like, Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You making me a millionaire.
There you go.
And you gonna end up broke.
Because we are interested in the 15 minutes of fame, the fame factor. That I want to see my face here on this channel or on this magazine.
Or I want my folks to see it.
Yes.
I want
Yes.
Y'all didn't see me. Y'all didn't see me on stage, and they're feeding off of that. Well, that person over there is banking.
Right. So you need that validation. They need that validation.
See, that's it.
That validation they need. But if you sit back and think, you know what? Look at your career as artists. And sometimes artists have a manager that could be 10, 15%. You can have an attorney that could be 5%. Then you got Uncle Sam down your throat, right?
So also you got agent, business manager,
yep,
lawyer.
Yep.
25% already walked out the door.
Gone.
It's gone. You ain't even, that's gone. Top tax rate's gonna be 39%.
Yes, sir.
If you live in California, you make more than $1 million, it's the millionaire's tax. So you go 39, 25, 64 gone. Gone.
And then artists don't realize
we ain't even mention publicists.
And then they got to deal with the high rent, the ownership of vehicle. I mean, it's just a lot. And so
that's the business.
It's the business, and artists need to understand that before you say I need this person and that person can help me, this and that. I'm living proof of being independent, and I still am independent.
Right.
From the beginning of my career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a studio movie.
Right.
But then the studio movie said, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Right.
That's how you feel? All right. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna flip the script on you and then own what I do.
See, that's how the reason I can identify with that is because that is also my career. In that, yes, I worked at the Austin American Statesman, the Fort Worth Star Telegram, 2 mainstream daily newspapers, but I still did stuff for black newspapers.
There you go.
I left there when we covered the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building blowing up in Oklahoma City, and I actually led our team on the ground for the first couple of days, and really the next 2 days, I said, I can do this. I was 24. I said, I can do this. So I left to become news director, morning anchor at the radio station, running the operation. But even when I joined CNN, I never left TV One. Even though I was at TV One, I had other things as well. I did not, my whole deal was, I do not want anybody to control my money.
There you go.
But I also said, I don't want them to control my voice. So when CNN was like, yo, we ain't running that, cool, I'm gonna go over here. TV One, we're not running that. Okay, fine, I got my own thing. I refuse to be boxed in. So even now you talk about independent, that's exactly what it is. I could take this interview series and I could shop it. I could say, man, but now you have notes.
No.
Now, I want you to change the color scheme.
Right, and we want a co-host too, by the way.
I want to be shot different. Well, I want you. I didn't like how the questions were, and so can you make it? Can you do it this way? And so now all of a sudden it's all. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. You know what?
Yeah.
But here's the piece. I'm content with who watches it.
Yeah.
I'm content with what we make, because I'm not sitting here going, man, I wish 10 million were watching. I wish I was getting 5 million for this project. No, I'm good.
And see, and I can relate to that, because that's how I see myself in my career. Is, Roland, recently, it's been a while, but I got my first movie offer as the writer and the director of a major. It's been a long time, brother. And I had to sit back and I asked the producer who approached me on this, and he says, I saw you speak at the American Film Institute in the way that you speak and you spoke to the students. And I said to myself, yeah, I can get this director or that director, but he has a vision. And I've looked at your story and I've seen your journey, and it's a different journey than many other my colleagues in the industry. And I love them all. I look, when I'm living in Europe and Asia for a while, I love watching our culture, our films. But my journey is different. It's more on the independent side. And not saying that I'll never do a studio movie because I like that money too, right? But it depends on the project. It depends on the piece. And I look at my career and I say I've done two movies, but two of the most popular movies that do extremely well for me. And yes, who wouldn't want a catalog of 7 movies or more movies? Yeah, there's more movies to do. But as an artist, and I tell artists this, you have to keep yourself open for other opportunities to come. Because if I was closed-minded when the CEO of Ubisoft and I talked and he said, hey, would you go to Paris? If I was closed-minded and said, nah, I'm waiting for my next movie.
Right. Or not just closed-minded, or I look at it another way, you want me to do video games?
Right, exactly. Yes.
That's...
Right.
Richard Lawson said that. He said when his agent came to him the first time and said, I want to do a soap opera, he fired the agent. He was like, what is wrong with you? He said, but a decade later, when it came, he had this iconic role and that is still remembered today. And he said people were walking up on the street and talking to him. He said it hit him like, wait a minute, hold up. Here I was fighting this thing. Because I saw that it was beneath me. Right. And that is it, man. I'll have these people who will say, man, you ain't nothing but a YouTuber. And I'll sit there and go, you know this dude over here makes $8.5 million a year on YouTube.
Come on. Yep.
So I'm like, you can sit here and call me a YouTuber all you want to.
Right. Right.
8.2 million is 8.2 million.
There you go.
Now this cat over here on TV making $15,000 an episode times 22.
Right, come on. Look at the numbers. Add them up.
I'm just saying. So I'm like, you can say whatever you want to say.
It's okay.
You ain't on a network. Okay.
No.
I mean,
but see, those people and those naysayers are people who have an opinion that aren't the artist, that aren't the brand builder. That is just the noise that comes with building a brand.
But we also, though, have to see again when it came to me with the movie. Well, 2 things happened. You basically said, do I want this or do I need this?
Right.
Do I need this for the money?
Right.
Do I need this for the validation? Versus, do I want this because of what it is?
That's right.
And I think that's also the difference. It's the validation part, the validation piece is so crucial because I tell people all the time, before you say yes to anything, you have to say, what is driving me to say yes?
Right.
Money is the last thing.
Yeah, that should never be the first.
Everything we do, everything I do, I said, no, I need to know what I'm doing. What is it? Money is the absolute last thing I negotiate. So we got to go through all these things first. Then we get to the money. Because see, what they're used to,
yeah, here's a check.
Putting the money,
That's
you
right.
like, okay,
right, that much? Okay, yeah, I'm
fine. Without then asking, who's running this?
Yeah.
Who's controlling? How much say-so do I have? And that's the thing, man, that I think we got to get people to. Whether we're talking in my business, your business, but this same thing applies to engineering, architecture, applies to no matter what job. And look, and we all, as you said, we all want to be paid well. We all want to do well. But when that is the driving force, what happens then when you get it and now you're like, I'm miserable as hell?
There's a price that comes, exactly. There's a price that comes with taking that check without looking at the other things that mean something to you. Number one, I always say to myself, why do you want to do this? Why? what's the purpose and the meaning behind this story, right? Why do you want to tie your artistic, vision to something like this? Next thing I want to know is, how much control do I have?
That's right.
How much control? Because if I don't have a lot of control, and you, as the check writer, can tell me that don't work, this don't work, then do I really want to go down that road?
Or what it actually tells me is, this ain't my project.
Yeah,
this is really not, I'm just sitting in the chair.
Exactly.
It's really your project.
Right, exactly. In some producers, when you have a name, a Roland Martin name, a Matty Rich name, you have some sort of, backstory behind that name, they will need that name for finances to bring that money, right? And so, they'll give you a nice little piece of it, but then they got the pie of it, but they'll use that brand. So to use the brand that I've worked so many years, I want to know what's in it for me.
Yep.
Number one, do I want to tie my creativity to it? What kind of power do I have to being attached to this?
Right.
And then lastly is, how much is the deal, right?
Yeah.
And as artists, we need to learn more about the business side, yeah.
Love our new Alexa.
It's a Buick.
Yeah, Alexa.
Buick.
Alexa.
It's a Buick. It's an Alexa. It's a Buick. It's an Alexa. Coach, that's a Buick. That's an Alexa.
The Buick Enclave with available Alexa built-in.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years.
We got iPhone 13s too. Switched 2 minutes ago, literally right before this.
iPhone 13 on us on any unlimited plan for every customer, with plans starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and I have a question for you. Ever feel as if your life is teetering and the weight and pressure of the world is consistently on your shoulders? Well, let me tell you, living a balanced life isn't easy. Join me each Tuesday on Black Star Network for A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie. We'll laugh together, cry together, pull ourselves together, and cheer each other on. So join me for new shows each Tuesday on Black Star Network, A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie.
How about sushi?
I just had sushi for lunch yesterday.
How about tacos?
Automatic emergency braking, one of 6 advanced safety features standard on every 2022 Chevy Equinox. Find new technology. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
When you think back, we mentioned it earlier when you talked about when you and Spike had the beef.
Yeah.
Do you think back and say, you know what, I or we should have taken that and said, let's do it one-on-one, as opposed to allowing it to play out in the future? When I interviewed Spike, he had a very public spat with Tyler Perry. And then Tyler said they later, Spike flew to Atlanta, they sat down and met. And so when Tyler dedicated the studio, one of the sounds they did is named after Spike Lee.
Nice.
And I think that's also the deal as well, recognizing that, you know what, I'm not about to participate, about to give them clickbait. And where they're feasting off of us sitting here battling.
That's right.
As opposed to us actually talking and sharing these ideas and issues. When you think about that, are there moments where you say, I was 19 and this is where I should have listened more or sought out someone at that level and said, talk to me about what the issue that you have?
I think that, number one, Spike Lee is an icon. You know, let me make this very clear. You know, if people ever track what I've said about Spike, probably not much, right? The crazy thing is, Spike and I have only met twice.
Really?
Only met twice. But people ask me about Spike Lee all my life. And being a 19-year-old film, I'll tell you even the 2 times that I met him. The first time was, I was at the premiere of, I think it was Jungle Fever, with Miles Davis. And then Terry Williams, my publicist, so she set us up to meet. So I met him. I have a picture with me, Spike, Miles Davis, and Mario Van Peebles, right? It's the first time I met Spike. The second time I met Spike was we were at this post-production facility, and it was just one-on-one. And of course, as a filmmaker, who doesn't admire Spike Lee? I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. He's born and raised in Brooklyn.
He started indie?
I started indie, right? And so I was 19, I was full of vigor, I was the Brooklyn, filmmaker. And of course, when you get older, it's like, this is a statesman, right? This is somebody who, he was in his mid-30s at the time, but somebody that I looked up to. Of course, I looked up to Spike Lee. Of course, who didn't? I mean, he's a genius. But then also, I was this kid from Brooklyn,
right?
That felt like,
give me my damn respect.
I made this, this creative art, right, that people are responding to. And it would have been great if we had the opportunity to sit one-on-one. But I've never, there was another time, there was another time where we were on the cover of the New York Times Magazine. It was me, Spike, great late John Singleton, Mario Van Peebles, the Hudlin brothers, Ernest Dickerson, and Charles Lang. It was the only other time I saw Spike. After that, I've never seen the brother in 20-some years.
Was that a conversation? When y'all, it was one-on-one, did y'all actually talk?
No, I can't even recall, I can't even recall that. I think a lot of it back in the day was like this media thing, because he was hot, I was hot, it turned into something, and I can't even remember the whole what it was about. But I've never had an opportunity one-on-one like you and I are sitting together, even to have a conversation with.
Wow,
people don't realize that I probably have met Spike, like I just mentioned, probably 3 times in my life, and we've never talked. But he has gone on to say things about me and on TV shows and articles and things like that. And
especially for 2 guys being from Brooklyn, same spot, same thing. Anthony, bring my phone. So I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, people don't realize that probably seen Spike Lee 3 times in my entire life.
See, it's like me. Look, I'm from Houston.
Yeah.
And if there's somebody if there's someone who's in my space who's from H-Town, I'm a track them down.
Right.
Because that's just, you have a natural connection. You have a natural thing.
Right.
And then especially if that was this sort of
this big hoo-ha,
back and forth. And it would be very interesting to hear, because with him teaching,
right,
and now you teaching, I mean, it'd be very interesting. That'd be very interesting to me. What he would, first of all, what the 2 of you would have to say. Now that you're sort of operating in the same space.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be very interesting to me, because like I say, what you're doing right now, that would be a trip.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Spike.
What's up, babe?
So I'm in LA right now. I got a one-on-one series for my network, Black Star Network. And I'm interviewing Matty Rich.
What's going on,
and
brother?
Matty Rich said, in all of these years, y'all have never actually sat down for a one-on-one, just learning, because now he's teaching. And I said, really, 2 cats, Brooklyn, independent? And I said, how? Now he's singing your praises and everything. I said, how?
Well, let me just say this, that.
Well, y'all gonna sit down and no, I just told him, I said, it'd be amazing. I said, just to be able to chat and trade notes.
Well, he knows my office is.
Hey, I would.
He right here.
I would love to sit down and talk, but it's been a while, and it's a pleasure to hear your voice, brother.
Yeah, same here. Well, I'm in the same place, Fort Greene, baby.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a firm believer in people talking. I just think, again, because it will be great for with him. What you say, American Film Institute?
Yeah.
When you teach it as well, man, y'all two now teaching, and the stuff he was telling me what he's doing with video games is crazy. Doing the video games, so. And so I would just say this.
It was good, brother. Good to see you. Hey, I'm doing good, man. I'm in LA. I'm in LA, but I was living in Paris, France for a number of years. You know, doing. Je parle un peu français, bro. Je parle un peu. But you look good, brother. Just wanted to. I'm so happy you did this. Like I was telling Roland that I haven't seen you. I think I may have met you maybe 3 times in my life. But you've always been, somebody I've looked up to as a young filmmaker. So I want you to know that.
I appreciate it. And also Roland, give me my number, okay? Email. I'll give it to you.
All right, we'll do.
All right?
All right.
Let's get up.
All right.
My brother, love to see that happen. Always good seeing you. And you're looking clean with the gray.
No more cheat.
Huh?
No more cheat.
Beat the Red Sox.
No more cheat.
Beat the Red Sox. All right, baby.
All right.
I'll holler at you.
All right.
Later.
That was nice, bro.
We gonna hook that up.
Yeah, that was. I appreciate that.
Go hook it up.
Man.
I'm gonna see his email, send his number.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. That's a big moment, man. That was like, man, that was good. Got me all choked up. That's good.
Well, I'm all about connecting.
Appreciate that, bro.
All about connecting.
It hurt me as a filmmaker to he's always been an idol, but thank you, bro.
Well, I want y'all to talk.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Matty, I'm glad we finally got a chance to sit down and chop it up, baby.
My man.
Appreciate it.
Man, that's love, bro. Thank you. Thank you,
problem,
Roland.
baby.
Meant a lot.
How about sushi?
I just had sushi for lunch yesterday.
How about tacos?
Automatic emergency braking, one of 6 advanced safety features standard on every 2022 Chevy Equinox. Find new technology. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
It's time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches! Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way.
Honored to be on a show that you own. A black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Roland was amazing on that.
Stay black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
You dig?